Ladies and gentlemen, spoiler alert, there is a new Strike on the Day Sovereign coming out next week. But we don't want to talk about that one, well, at least not yet till the end of this video. We want to talk about the whole concept of Strike on the Day Sovereigns, also known as celebratory sovereigns. These are special coins, not to be confused with your average run-of-the-mill ordinary sovereigns. These sovereigns are designed to celebrate royal births, special occasions, anniversaries, anything the Royal Mint really sees fit, so long as they don't come out more than a couple of times a year. But there is now a long tradition of strike on the day sovereigns. So the idea behind them, a little bit like Ronseal does what it says on the can. What they do is they get all prepared, ready to strike one of these sovereigns, and they only produce them on the one day. They started this process in 2012. In fairness, it took them a number of years to really understand the marketplace and what they should do. But let's take a quick journey through time, starting in 2012, so we can see the kind of things that they've been doing and their progression in thinking from then until 2019. So 2012 was the Diamond Jubilee. They bought out a sovereign. They struck it on a particular day, the 2nd of June 2012. And it comes with this nice box. The COA is signed by the head of production at the Royal Mint. And unfortunately, the coin itself is exactly the same as pretty much every other coin that year. Move forward to 2013, the anniversary of the Queen's coronation, and they were at it again, middle of the year, 2nd of June 2013, they struck another sovereign. The problem with these early coins is it's not very easy to see any physical difference with the coins. So they were really playing at it. Some of the mintages were really, really high. 2012 there were 2012 coins, 2013 there were 2013 coins, and I don't think they really sold particularly well. So move on to 2014. Had they learnt a lesson? George turned 1 and the mintages went right down to 398, making the coin pretty rare. The Royal Birthday Celebration Sovereign, 22nd of July 2014. But like the previous ones, the coin itself wasn't particularly distinctive. All these coins are produced in BU as opposed to bullion, so they are differentiable, but the grading companies don't easily differentiate one MS coin from another. So it's quite a difficult ask for those early coins. But the Mint didn't get disheartened. They thought they were onto a winner and went mad in 2015 with 2 releases. Charlotte emerged into this world on the 2nd of May, and Prince George was 2 on the 22nd of July. And let's have a look at the coins they then produced in 2015. So the Royal Birth, the Celebration Sovereign, struck on the 2nd of May 2015, was produced. Again, BU, but nothing distinctive about the particular coin. So if the coin gets separated from its box and COA, most people would never know then that it was the special coin produced for the Royal Birth, or in the case of the Royal Birthday, they wouldn't know it was that particular coin. It would then look just like any other sovereign. So maybe to the uninitiated, but there are differences. The different strike on the day ones produced that year do have differences, and you can see here this is an example of the special strike on the day sovereign, which is BU finish, and you can see here it does have some frosting, not as much frosting as a proof, but it has the standard amount of frosting that you usually find on a BU coin. One of the problems, of course, is that the actual design of the coin is the same as the regular sovereign. So a lot of people wouldn't necessarily tell or notice the difference. And I think this was one of the fundamental problems the Mint made in these early years, that they didn't make the coin distinguishable enough. And over the last 2 or 3 years, they've been trying to rectify that. They've taken criticism that they got to heart. They have tried to make a very special effort to involve the marketing people a little bit more, to understand that the coin needs to actually be differentiable easily, not just the box and the COA. So 2016, the Queen's 90th birthday, and she's doing magnificently, and to celebrate her magnificence, then they bought out on the 11th of June another celebration sovereign. This one actually had exactly the same problem. They produced 500 of them. It's BU, but it's not distinguishable, particularly from the normal other sovereign. Is your connection to quality assured modern coins. Use code CHRIS for a 2% discount on anything you buy this month. Moving forward to 2017, which, as most of you know, as far as sovereigns go, was a year on steroids, and the strike on the day special celebratory sovereign, of course, got a lot of attention during this year. There were in fact 3 strike on the day sovereigns produced in 2017, but the one that got the most attention was this very, very special sovereign produced to celebrate the anniversary of the 1817 sovereign. It's got the garter design, which is rather attractive, and it's also got the plain rim. You can see here the ribbing, the milling round the outside has gone, and it's given way to a design feature that had previously been found historically on a lot of specimen proof sovereigns, and is really nice to see. So this coin was produced in brilliant uncirculated finish. 1,817 of these were minted, compared to over 13,000 of the regular proofs. So comparatively, it's a pretty rare coin. I think they charged about £525, something like that, at the Mint for this coin when it was new, and it sold out extremely quickly. The other 2 coins, one was produced in February and one was produced in November. The February one here is the Sapphire Jubilee of Her Majesty, struck on the 6th of February 2017. This one came out and there were 750 of these coins minted. They were basically the same kind of thing as the bullion sovereign, but without the 200th anniversary privy mark next to the date. So they were distinctive, and the Royal Mint had started to learn the lesson of this coin being distinctive and needing to be distinctive. Limited edition presentation of 750, and people thought that was it. Then later on in the year, in November, they announced a second strike on the day sovereign. And you can see here, it's the Platinum Wedding Anniversary strike on the day sovereign. Do you notice the difference between these 2 coins? Well, there really isn't any difference. If they weren't in holders, one saying Platinum Wedding and the other saying Sapphire Jubilee, you wouldn't physically know the difference. And they'd obviously planned this at the beginning of the year, didn't tell anyone. A little bit of a tricky situation from the Royal Mint, because they put on the particulars maximum coin limited edition presentation rather than maximum coin mintage on the February coin. No one really noticed, and then when they came out with the November coin, we then found it was the same coin. So rather than being an edition of 750, there was actually 1,500 of these coins produced, one at either end of the year. And a lot of people wrote to the Royal Mint to complain about this practice, which was a pretty shoddy marketing practice, and clearly they learnt from this and listened to the people who were being critical of this, and they have kind of, as far as I understand, made a promise not to do this again. It was a little bit misleading. So some people managed to get their coins graded with NGC with with the right designation on. And of course, when it came to the Platinum Wedding Anniversary, they didn't want to grade those coins as strike on the day coins because they couldn't be sure about whether they were the February edition or whether they were the November edition. So only people who sent them in with the original box got them graded properly. Forward to 2018, there were two releases, the Sapphire Coronation and George's 5th birthday. So 650, very low mintage for one of these coins. It's a distinctive coin. It was very well received in the marketplace, struck on the 2nd of June 2018 to celebrate the 65th anniversary of the coronation. And it's an attractive coin, it's distinctive, it's low mintage, it's sold very well at the mint, and you rarely see these coins available in the secondary market. I haven't looked up what the pricing is and whether it's been a good investment, but there aren't really enough sales of these types of coins to work out whether it's a good investment or not. But a lot of people now collect these and they tend to stay in people's collections, so you don't see a whole load of these on the web being flipped. They were really, really difficult to get hold of on that day. I think they sold out within a few minutes or an hour when they were launched. And I mean, I think they're rather nice to have these very special sovereigns with such a long history being distinctive. So which number did I get? 446. So just about got in there for this one. You can see the same thing as the previous year's sovereigns. They minted on one day. They get the signature of the head of production. The poor guy had to sign hundreds of these things. I think he was obviously getting a bit bored with signing by the time he reached my one, because his signature is a little bit kind of unrecognisable and unwieldy. But it comes with all this kind of nice paraphernalia, another royal celebration. We've had quite a few of these royal celebrations recently. So limited edition presentation is, in this case, exactly the same as the maximum mintage, and they learnt their lesson from the February 2017 release to not play marketing shenanigans and be a little bit straighter to collectors. They all seem to come in this little white box and in the same format, apart from the 2017 strike on the day, which came in the same kind of box as the regular sovereign. So, two strike on the day sovereigns here. Sapphire Anniversary Privy. These are two of those 650. These both got graded with MS70 DPL. All of these coins are now designated as MS coins, not PF coins. They did make a few mistakes about designating them in relation to the strike on the day for 2017. There was originally a mistake in the COA for that coin, and it actually said it was a proof, even though it wasn't. And then both PCGS and NGC graded it with a PF on the label, and then they had to backtrack and relabel them MS DPL, which is what they should have been. And you can see here you've got the 65th anniversary privy to the left of the date, and it's also plain rim. And I think that combination of BU strike, privy next to the date, and plain rim differentiate it from the regular 2018 standard proof sovereign. But look out for these. If you see them, then snap them up, assuming they're a reasonable price, because these could be a good one for the future. You don't really see very many of these out on the marketplace. There's always a few chances putting their coins on eBay for over £1,000. You probably want to pay less than that, but there you go. So this year, 2019, Victoria's birth. 200th anniversary of Victoria's birth, the first matte sovereign, a mintage of 650, very well received by the market, very nice anniversary, sold out within a few minutes. You've got to get in really quickly to buy some of these celebration sovereigns, strike on the day. Here's a quick look at the packaging. I think they did a good job, very nice, clean, white packaging, a nice logo to celebrate the 200th anniversary. It's got exactly the same general format as most of them, as I said, apart from the 2017. 24th of May 2019, these are struck. They normally market them a week or so before, like they've done this time for the very, very latest one, which will be on the 22nd of August. So I think it'll be available to place an order, struck a few days later, and then in the post about a week after that. So inside you've got a standard strike on the day COA, the same one as you've seen a number of times before, the same format. Poor old Gavin Elliott is still busy signing away into the early hours after all these have been produced. He must really feel he's got the short straw with all of these signatures on COAs, but I guess they kind of pay him enough to sign all these things and be happy about it. Altogether, pretty good. And when this was out, I really thought that probably they were going to not do so many, and they were going to restrict it just to one for 2019. But of course they haven't. So if you've seen the little teaser at the beginning of this video, and there was a little bit more at the end, assuming you're still with us, then you'll be able to see the next one that is being bought out for 2019. So here's an example. This one is designated MS and matte for the matte finish. It's differentiable from the regular matte sovereign, which is available as a BU edition from the Royal Mint for £365, which represents not bad value now that a standard bullion sovereign has hit £300. You can see here it's plain rim. It's also got Victoria's monogram on the coin next to the date. So it's distinguishable because of its matte finish, because of its plain rim, and because of Victoria's monogram. So only 650 of these, and the first strike on the day matte finish. And then just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water, the Royal Mint earlier on today announced the Prince Albert 200th birthday sovereign. And Albert was born, I think it was about the 26th or so of August. So they're going to be striking another 650 sovereigns with which are again, unlike 2017, these are distinguishable. So this one is going to be matte finish, it's going to be plain rim, and it's going to have Albert's monogram actually on the sovereign next to the date letter. So if you have collected the Victoria one, then it may be you'll think that having an Albert one would give it a very nice pair of those sovereigns, a little bit of completeness to the year. Hopefully this will be the last strike on the day one they do in this year. I think there is a danger of them doing too much, but if they carry on doing one or two a year, I think it makes a very nice themed collection. So let me know what you guys think about celebration sovereigns, strike on the day, whether it's a good idea, a bad idea, whether you collect them, whether you're not collecting them, generally what you think, and whether you're going to be picking up the Albert sovereign next week.